And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at Hida-furukawa. This is a little game from Japan. It says it's about a town that's a nicely preserved old town that's hidden in the mountains, and you're trying to set up a new shops on your street and just help rebuild the town. This is a nice little, tiny little game that I found, and you know, one of the things I've noticed from many of the small games that we get from Japan is they have kind of a different feel than your traditional games, and this one certainly has that. It uses some mechanisms that we've known before, like blind bidding and building things in a grid, but there's some interesting concepts in this one. Let's take a look. Each player is going to get one of these central ground cards that they're going to place. It's kind of just to show their city. You're going to be building a city that's a 3x3 grid. And you're going to be putting buildings into that city that are worth a certain number of points, 0, 1, 2, 3, or 5. However, if you have a certain row, like if I have 3 zeros in a row, I get a bonus of 10. If I have 3 threes in a row, I get 3. Or if I have 1, 2, 3 in any combination, I'll get 3 bonus points. So there's going to be sets of these cards. So this is like one set, this is another set. These are the same cards that are in each set. And each round of the game, you're going to take one of these sets, pick 2 random cards from some specials. You'll show everybody. So for example, this is peek and combo. This will double a combo if you get this building. This lets you peek at a face down card. And then you're going to shuffle them all together. And each player is going to have one card in front of them. So let's say there's 4 players. Then 2 cards would go to the middle, and the last card is discarded without anyone seeing it. You can look at your card. Okay, I got the 1. And then starting with the start player, each person's going to start with 12 coins. The start player can bid on their own card. So I might say, hey, I'm going to bid 2 coins on my own card. Everyone else is then going to make a secret bid. They're going to reveal them, and whoever has the most coins, including the initial bid on the card, is going to win the card and then immediately put the card in their city. You can put it on top of your center card or somewhere in your city, but once a card is placed in a city, it can't be moved. Now you have to be careful because everything that you bid is going to be lost, and if there's a tie for the highest bid, by the way, these black coins are 3 coins, if there's a tie for the highest bid, then the second highest bid is going to win it. So you can win by being tricky in that regard. And you're just going to go around the table. As each card is bid for, you're going to have more information on which cards are left over. And then you're also just going to simultaneously bid for the 2 cards in the middle. If you win a card with a special, if it has some sort of special thing that you can do, you might be able to exchange with somebody else, extend, which means you can go outside the grid, things like that. When everyone is finished, then you will start the next round with another set of cards. Everyone's going to go back up to 12. If you have leftover coins, you can keep 3 of them from the remaining round, so you could have 15. And whoever has the current lowest score gets an extra 3 coins. And that person can also look at one face down card because they're doing so poorly. Then you'll just play 4 or 6 rounds, and whoever has the most coins, plus you have this little bonus card for a person who has the most coins at the end of the game. Whoever has the most points in their little grid that they've built. So as time goes by, I'm going to be building my little grid up here, and whoever has the most points in that is the winner of the game. Okay, so yeah, this is a really interesting game that I thought was pretty bad when I went over the rules, played it and enjoyed it more than I did, and yet at the end of the day came out saying, okay. It just kind of has some strangeness to it. So, blind bidding. Some people are going to dislike that right off the bat, right? I know some people don't like blind bidding, especially if you bid and you lose, right? You're like, oh, I bid the least and I still lose my money? Yeah. A tie and it goes to the second. Now, I find that a little bit clever. I don't mind blind bidding, but if you don't like it, you probably won't like this. You're like double blind bidding, though. Not only are you blind bidding the money, you're blind bidding over something you don't know what it is. Now, it's interesting because you can watch that initial bid that the person makes on it, which is kind of I find that's like the coolest thing about this game. Like, I'll put 3 coins on it. You're like, oh, really? 3? You think it's worth that much? Or if I put 5 on it, you're like, well, he really wants that card. He has 2 3s. That's got to be a 3. I need a 3. I'm going to bid higher. And I just suckered you because It's a 0, and I don't want any more zeros. You know, and I find that part interesting, but it's a very fragile system in the sense that someone could just mess up or bid or just not be. I mean, it requires all players to kind of be on their A game. What's going on? Who's bidding on what? And also, as going last, you've seen 3 or 4 cards already. Suddenly the bidding is like, okay, now we know there's a good chance that card's this. That's true. There's a good chance the card is that whatever you think it is, but it also might not be. So the special abilities and the special cards are not that complex. I would have preferred maybe a little card that had all of them written on it for ease of reference. But and the combos and things, and it's possible for someone to be shut out. In one game I played, one player was last for almost the entire game. They just kept bidding, and it just kept not working out. Oh, they bid 6. Someone else bid 6, and then the 3-player won it, and that person just lost 6 coins. So that's, you know, that's in there too. The game is short. It's such an interesting style game, and again, I kind of like it, but I'd be very cautious about who I played it with because it just has some very unique things that aren't like necessarily understandable on your first play for sure. I think you'll want to play a couple times to get going. Also, definitely play the shorter game over the longer game. This game has that unique, weird rhythm to it, and at 6 rounds, I think that's just a little bit too long. Also, it has a very unique number of players. It says 2 to 5. But 2 is too small, so it's really like a 4 to 5 player game, really, I think, because then you see more cards and things. But anyway, there you go. That's what this game is all about. I don't know how easy it is to find, but if you find that combination of weird mechanisms, you're like, interesting, you might want to hunt this one down. Dice Tower Judgment, weird.